Hi guys, so this video is going to be about how to custom blend foundation and concealer to get your own colour or your client's colour match. So what I'm using is just a no-name concealer palette. It looks like this. I've got my concealers and correctors. I'll just hold that up to the camera for you. I also have a mixing palette here, a white one, and my spatula. Now with the spatula I have taken, you can see where I've just taken some colour. And what we're going to do is, I've obviously used my 91% alcohol on all of my utensils to make sure that everything is clean. And I'm going to put some of this just right onto the palette like that, so you can see there it is. Now what I'm going to do is use my brush here, my foundation brush, and what we're going to do is, I've got my eye makeup on but I've no foundation whatsoever, so we're going to start to mix that on the palette. So that's what it looks like, and we're going to test that on my face, or if it was a client's face. So we're going to start to go, and I usually start off in the T-zone areas, so let's start here. And right away we can see that it's not a perfect match, and this is a common error. Not an error as such, but even just like a problem that you may find when you're starting out and you're trying to match your own skin tone with concealer palettes, but also maybe if you're starting out as a freelance makeup artist, or you work as a makeup artist and you're just starting out and you want to learn how to mix colours, and you may not have a client that has just that skin tone, they may be in between. So what we want to do is try and make this lighter from my skin tone, because if I hold that up you can see I am much fairer than this colour. So what we're going to do is go back in, we're going to go back in to our concealer palette here, and we're going to look at a colour, and we're going to look at mixing. So what we're going to do is take this colour up here. Now there's no names on these colours, guys, so I think I'm probably going to be in between this one up here or this one down here. Now I never go in with my brush, ever. I always use my spatula. I never have ever gone into a concealer or foundation palette with a brush or a sponge, because that is extremely unhygienic. So what we do is we use our steel spatula that we have already cleaned with our alcohol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to lighten this up with a little of this one here. Now it's coming off very fair on camera, but it actually has a yellow undertone to it. So if I show you there, and we're going to mix that with the darker colour on the palette. So I'm going to take some of that on the other side. So there it is on the palette. You can see already that it's much lighter. And what we're going to do is place it where that dark colour is. And what we're going to do now, as you can see, it's in the centre there. We're going to get our brush, our foundation brush, and we're now going to mix that together. And you can already see that it's lighter, much lighter. So I'm going to just put a little bit more, not too much, just a little bit more in the centre. And sometimes you can find the concealer palettes and the concealers themselves and correctors are drying. So what you do is you can add your moisturiser, just make sure there's not an SPF, because that will change the colour. So now as we're mixing that around, it is becoming much paler. And as we look at that, it is becoming a little bit more to my colour. So we're going to then go over what we did. And you can see that it's almost an exact match. Now I'm only placing it at the moment, I'm not going to blend it just yet. To see if you can see the difference here, there's no difference. I have no makeup on here and I do here, and it's almost it is an exact colour match, and that's what you want. You want to find, through mixing, your client or yourself, your own colour match. Because some of us have some red undertones in our skin, some of us have yellow. For example, I get a lot of red through the T-zone, and we do need to counteract that as well. So that is the bottom of half of my face done. And then if you want to make it more of a liquid moisturiser, or that you find that the concealer you're using is extremely drying, we are going to add our moisturiser in now. and then add a little bit more of both of those concealers, and then we will have almost like a liquid moisturiser or liquid foundation. So a little bit of moisturiser here. As you can see, there's my moisturiser on the palette. A very little amount is all you need. But we're now going to add our concealers again, both colours. So this is the darker one, and we're just going to add that here. So that's the concealer, the first darker concealer and the moisturiser on there. And then we're going to go into that pale one again. Here it is. And we're going to put that here. And now we're going to go with our brush and we're going to mix that all around, and that should be enough for my entire face. So you can see you do get good good longevity out of this. So the moisturiser there is going to make it a little bit more liquid. And then liquidy. That's the colour. Okay. And you can see I haven't used a lot at all, so you don't need a lot. And then on my brush, that's what it looks like on the brush. And we're now going to just focus under the eyes. You can see there, under the eyes. Again, make sure your foundation, or your moisturiser doesn't have an SPF, because that will counteract the colour and it will change the colour. So, and then you can see the redness on my nose as well. So we want to make it all the same colour. And sometimes the warmth of your fingers as well will help in the blending process as well. So if you feel like your foundation brush is kind of leaving feather-like, because sometimes the brushes can leave like a feather-like look depending on the quality of the brush on your skin. So what I'll do is, just to save time and show you guys, is I might just blend the rest with my fingers. So we get our fingers, obviously clean hands, and we're just going to stipple that in, blend it in. Don't drag the skin in any way. The warmth of your fingers actually helps to blend. It's the best blender if you are stuck for brushes or sponges or anything like that. And you can see even up here I haven't done anything, but you don't really see a difference, and that's exactly what you want. You want an exact colour match, which can be tricky if you don't mix, because it's a problem that a lot of people have, is that they're not exactly one skin tone, including myself, and they need to have that mixture and be able to mix those colours together. So there is, just from here down, the foundation and the concealers, two concealers mixed with the foundation, or the moisturiser, and we've kind of made ourselves our own kind of homemade foundation. It is more of a liquidy foundation when you add the moisturiser in, but I would only say to add the moisturiser if you find that the concealers themselves in the palettes that you get, or whatever palette you've gotten, are quite drying. And if they're drying, absolutely 100% use your moisturiser. Just make sure that there isn't an SPF, because that will change the colour around. This was just a quick little tutorial on how to mix and blend concealers from palettes, and if it's too dry, how to use it with your moisturiser to kind of make it more of a foundation type instead of a concealer and all over coverage. This is what it looked like afterwards, and you can see there isn't much of a change, and that's what you want. You want to look like you kind of have a natural look to you. So this is the result. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. The actual palette that I've used, if you want to know, is actually from my QC Makeup Academy, but there is it's no named brand. There's no brand to it. You can get a lot of those brands, and what I will do actually for your benefit is I will link below the amazon.co.uk concealer palettes that I have seen that also have the correctors. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.